Thank you, Minister. Honourable Potgieter.
Thanks, Chair. I don't know if it's all of these documents, but I'm feeling exceptionally blonde today, Chair, and perhaps maybe somebody can advise. I've done many reports, KPIs, budgets, etc., and I have to say this is probably the most confusing one that I've ever read in my life. There's no budget alignment between the KPIs and between the initiatives. For me to say that you are lacking budget and that your core mandate line items equal 75% of your budget, but it's not itemized, I can't tell you that you need more budget. All I know is that you're spending an excessive amount on salaries. If I go to the DSEC report, if I stay in Cape Town any longer, perhaps. On page 11, you talk about 80% of the budget being allocated for employee compensation, but then on page 47 of this report, and this is not yours, so you'll excuse me, this comes from the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, the audited outcome for administrative costs was 246 million. Your estimated performance is 38 million. I'm not quite understanding the excessive discrepancies between the financial figures. They don't make sense. I even tried to run it through AI because I thought I was being stupid. And AI can't make sense of it because it says that there are serious discrepancies in the financials. So for me, I can't judge whether or not you actually need more budget or what you need it for because I can't tell what you're using budget for except for salaries. The KPIs, even in these reports, they don't run consistently. And there doesn't seem to be an actual KPI versus the actual result. And we're looking at, we've got the 23-24 estimated performance, which cannot be taken back to an actual KPI. So you'll say, for example, that you need to do research reports, but it doesn't tell me how many, by when, or for what. And then I get an estimated performance. So what am I observing? What am I judging this on? Just linking that with the PSC report, which is quite worrying because they talk about insufficient internal control mechanisms, non-compliance with legislation. They go on to talk about poor reporting on pending cases in terms of HR. They also talk about, and I'll tell you now, the lack of cooperation with other working government institutions and in terms of dealing with your budget cuts and working with external partners. And it doesn't seem that any of these are being addressed. Your audit essentially reads as, unqualified with findings and repeat findings. So nothing is actually being addressed year on year. Then they talk about the fact that there's 100% submission, but the department is not complying with feedback on potential conflicts of interest, and there's a number of senior managers that are engaged in other remunerative work without approval. So it seems there's a consistency of not underreporting, but it's almost like hidden reporting. So nobody quite knows what's going on in your performance reports. Nobody knows what's going on with the financials, and it's exceptionally confusing. I mean, I don't know, this is supposed to be, government's supposed to be about transparency and that every layperson, on the streets is supposed to understand what is being published. And if members of parliament, and again, Chair, perhaps I'm the one that's lacking here, if we don't understand it, then I don't see how any other person is supposed to understand it. It's very frustrating. And I really do think that you need to work on how you are reporting back to Parliament. I think this is probably where you're finding most of your issues. Just to say, Chair, I think it's the board members that didn't attend are the ones that are, should actually be taking the reprimand. Thank you to the ones that did attend. If you can give me some clarity on the CEO, because I see that there was an abrupt resignation shortly after appointment. What was the CEO's background in terms of appointment? And what made them stand out from the other candidates? So, in essence, why was he appointed? And what necessitated the immediate resignation? And I'd like to understand alongside that whether it coincides or if there was similar reasons for the resignation of the chairperson within a very short time period. And then I think one thing that arose from the complaints, Chair, was the conflict of interest of various board members that are sitting on different boards throughout sports, arts and culture. And that does concern me, because if you have an interest in one board and you're sitting on 3 other boards, where does your interest actually lie? Where are you putting your priorities and your motivation and your passion? So if we can possibly, and that's probably a longer exercise, get an explanation as to that. With regards to the Honourable Molatsane's comments on the applications, I do think that it would be, it would be a good thing for us to get exactly which applications were approved for what amounts and what the projects were. I do see that the foundation focuses on high impact, but if you read their KPIs, their performance reports read, funding into low impact opportunities. And I'm not quite understanding why you would fund low impact if your target is high impact. It's very confusing. I'm finding, all of this documentation is great, but it's almost like I'm being buried in documentation so that I don't find the items that I'm actually looking for. I think if we get clarity on what we're being provided for financially in terms of performance targets, in terms of funding and the applications that were approved, we'll be in a much better position to assess what we're being given. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Honourable Potgieter. Any response?
Chair, can I respond to the one that pertains to, because I'm obviously the final person when it comes to appointments. The Honourable Chair, the Honourable members ask, there are some people that sits on different boards. I mean, let's just be straightforward. There's nothing wrong with that. If the law didn't want you to do that, they would not have allowed you to apply. It is common knowledge throughout South Africa, corporate world, state, where people sit on more than one board. So I just needed to answer that one. The other ones were not pertaining to me. Thank you.
KPIs, my favorite. Let's hear what the response is there.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Honourable Member, for the question. So I heard you raising the audit outcome to say there's been discrepancy. So the audit outcome that we have captured in the 2024-25 report includes 152 million rand of the PESP. So the AG obviously expects us to include it as part of our income. Hence, there is that discrepancy. But I think in slide 30 of the presentation, Chair, we have given the itemized budget. So you will see there that there is content development that takes about 66 million rand. But I think we've got a detailed budget that aligns basically with what is sitting in the APP. So there is. So you might not be able to read it directly when you look at our APP. However, we have ensured that there is that alignment in terms of the budget to the KPIs and the targets that have been set for the 25-26 financial year. And I had also a question raised about the repeat findings. So in the 24-25, Chair, we had about 19 findings that were raised by the AGSA. And this year, those findings have been reduced to 11. And in the 25-26, our target is to achieve a clean audit in terms of saying that there will not be any findings that have been raised. So there's been quite a significant amount of work, Chair, that has been put in place in terms of automating, for example, our grant management system so that it interfaces with our financial reporting system. And some of the findings that were raised by the AG this year were more, we can call it, more cosmetic findings in terms of saying they were not in agreement in terms of how we have been presenting some of the disclosures of the numbers. However, there's been no findings, for example, raised this year pertaining to grant funding. So I think as management, we are working towards achieving a clean audit into the 25-26 financial year. Obviously, subject to us ensuring that we've got stability in the entity, because Chair, all the entities that you see achieving clean audits, one of the success factors is the fact that you've got stability at the CEO level, you've got stability at the board level, you've got stability across the entity, because that's what they call it, tone at the top. So those are some of the things, Chair, that we are dealing with. And we've been having a lot of vacancies In finance, for example, I'm the only one and the PA who are permanent staff members. We've been working through with temporary staff members because of some of the organizational restructuring that is currently taking place. But I think if we are then able to go past that in terms of stabilizing the entity, we can guarantee that we will be able to easily achieve a clean audit, because we are just the 160 million rand budget. It shouldn't be rocket science to achieve a clean audit. But the ingredients of a clean audit, obviously, it's stability at the top, in the middle management, as well as throughout the organization. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, if I may, and perhaps maybe this can come at the end, but can we possibly get the PSC's comments as well? Thank you.
Yeah, before they comment, I want to ask something and add to that question. How do you report on your KPIs quarterly? Is it accumulative? Then why does it show a small number at the end? If it's accumulative, then it must be 4 and not 2. It must be 4. If you have your 4, you have 2, and the next one must be 4. Am I right?
So, Chair, if I may, the APP is structured in such a way where the 4 will be the annual target, and then the quarterly then will be a breakdown of that 4.
If you lose the quarter,
So,
but you have a 2 on the other side, like the honourable member has said. Your KPI must be accumulative, so you must add it every month. At the end of the day, at the last quarter, it must add to the amount of your target.
yeah, so I think where the interpretation may be different is the way where the annual target is positioned, right? So from what I'm hearing from you, it would be preferred if the annual target is at the end, so that it's clear that you are accumulating up. But the way we have it structured is that your annual target is first, right? So the 4, and then the rest of the quarters are a breakdown of that 4, if that makes sense.
Okay, but we can have the discussion. Can we respond to Honourable Potgieter? You wanted to respond? The Public Service Commission.
Thank you, Chairperson. We did engage with the department, I think, on the 20th of last month.
Please switch on the mic.
Is it on? Am I audible? Can you hear me?
I'm a little bit closer.
Okay, thank you. I say we did engage with the department, I think, on the 20th of August. We had a very cordial meeting. It was our first engagement with the department. Our presentation, which you have, I think it has been circulated to yourselves, yeah, focuses on the departments and not the entities, because in terms of the Public Service Commission bill, we still don't have the mandate to do oversight on any entity, including this one. With specific reference to the public service prescripts, a possible limitation given the dynamic nature of the mandate of the department and entities. As I said, we engaged with the department, cordial meeting. They agreed on the where they have to improve. From a public service compliance perspective, the department's programs is satisfactory in the areas of human resource management, labor relations, performance against set targets, management of complaints, and other related matters. The issues that we've raised there, it's your RWAP, the remuneration outside. There is a bit of a discrepancy. Audit outcomes from the AG. If you can look at the report, there is a bit of non-compliance there, and the compliance. Yeah. Areas of concern relate to that of repeat findings and the vacancy rate. The situation is unlikely to change due to the country's economic and fiscal challenges. As you all know, that there are a lot of vacancies in a lot of departments, and unfortunately ourselves as well. Our work is increasing, but our budget is not meeting the demand that's there, and that is a challenge to us as well. As the PSC prepares to expand its mandate to different types and also plan from a citizen's perspective, the PSC is on a learning as well. We have not, this is what, virgin territory, we have not experienced, there's nothing we can refer to. We're also learning as we're continuing to engage with this new animal. Here we raised several questions on slide 19 of our presentation. You can refer to slide 19. We have identified these with the department. The department has agreed that we will interact more on a regular basis so that we form a partnership. We wanted a partnership and a way of working together so that we alleviate some of these challenges that the department faces. That's our little overview. And I must say, at the meeting, the minister was there, the DG was there. We were also with our DG, and we agreed to a working relationship that can assist both the PSC and the department to reach its mandate. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Honorable Khabo?
No, thank you very
We're going to
much.
ask about the laptops that got
No,
lost.
thank you very much, Chairperson. The issue of laptops, it's fine. Let me appreciate the report of PSC. Maybe recommend that as a committee that plays oversight, maybe we must meet with the PSC, unlike meeting it with the entity. Agree on meeting it separately with the department, because I think that we should be zooming in the work that the department is doing. So let me appreciate the report presented by the PSC. Chairperson, mine would be straightforward, and I still want to reiterate my position that this meeting is as a result of complaints that we have received in line with the process of appointing a board. Allegations that are there, they are questioning the board and its appointment process and powers to a large extent that were not correctly used. So my questions would be straightforward to both the minister and the acting CEO. DG, welcome. Congratulations on your appointment. Let me start with the minister. I know the powers are with you, but they are subjected to balance and checks. I wrote a letter on the 8th of July seeking clarity on the process that you had followed on the appointment of boards. Can I check with you, which process have you followed when you were appointing the panel? Mind you, you said it's an independent panel according to your response. Which process have you followed when you appointed the panel, and which piece of legislation guided that process? I'll rather stop there, Chair. Take them one by one.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to first, before I answer, just say that I'm 15 minutes over the time, but I want to answer because I was waiting for Honorable Khabo's thing. I'll just check the act that we follow. I just want to see. Well, I don't have the act here, but I think the act can be given. But all I want to say is that I have followed the act to the letter. There's nothing that was required of me as a minister to do that I've not done. I've also not gone and deviated from what the act required, step by step. Transparently, I've done that. And if there's any matter that Honorable Khabo can point out where you think I didn't follow the act, I'm gladly willing to answer that specific allegation. But where I'm sitting, my answer is that I have followed the act to the letter. Thank you very much, Honorable Khabo.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. And thanks, Minister. Maybe while we are awaiting, I don't doubt your response in relation to you, or not suspecting otherwise, but I would gladly prefer that you indicate which piece of legislation has guided you so that we are able to refer. The second question to you, Minister, it has been indicated that the entity has been without a CEO for the past 5 years. And probably for the past year, we have had an acting CEO seconded from the department. We had an appointed CEO who abruptly resigned. We are now sitting with the acting CEO seconded from the department. I wanted to check with you, is it true that you are the one who have appointed the acting CEO seconding him or her to the entity?
Which one are you talking about? There's been different ones.
Okay, let me start here. Who's the acting CEO?
DG?
There was an acting CEO up to the 2nd of September who was seconded by the department upon the request of the NFVF board. So currently, as the deputy chairperson was saying, they are going on with the recruitment. So maybe the board itself can respond to how they are dealing with the issue as of the 2nd of September when the person was seconded.
Thanks, DG. Let's stick to the process up until the 2nd. Who appointed the acting CEO that was seconded? It is alleged that the minister appointed the acting CEO contradicting the act. I think it's section 14, if not mistaken. So my question is, who appointed the acting CEO? Because allegations are that instead of the board, according to the act, it is the minister. I'm not sure if I've read it correctly. Can you get clarity on that, DG?
Okay, may I take that one, Chair?
Please respond immediately.
Yes. As the DG has said, there was a request from the NFVF for a secondment, which is allowed in terms of the Public Service Act, that a minister can second an official of the department to an entity, and that is subjected to a secondment agreement that is signed between the minister, the council of the NFVF, and the seconded employee must agree to that. So that's the process that was followed. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Can you please confirm which act is that so that we are able to verify? Because, you know, I would like to appeal to you also. You are not addressing your high school children or students here. You are addressing legislators. So when you speak of the legislation, don't threaten us. Tell us, I've used section 144 of this act to follow this process. I'm still waiting. I'm allowing the minister, I'm dragging this process so that the minister can also check the act that I've requested from him. Can you get clarity? If you don't have the response, the DG will gladly do that. Thanks.
While you wait, can I just give him the act?
Chief Minister.
All right, it's the NFVF Act, section 62.c. This section, along with other provisions of the Act, underpins the legal framework for the Minister to establish a process for appointing the council members. That's the Act. And also, just lastly, Chair, I've stayed 20 minutes over. I just need to answer the last issue. We don't just decide we want to appoint an acting person. The board writes to us as the department and then request of us to appoint. In as far as the acting positions are concerned, it greatly bothered us. We had a CEO. People resign, and it's personal matters for people. You can't stop them. I think there was an attempt to stop the CEO from resigning, if I'm not mistaken, but he has left, and that is, there was nothing we could do about it. So we're back through the process again. Am I excused? I've stayed 20 minutes over.
Honorable Chair.
Can I, through you, Chair, ask something in your response to add the minutes of that meeting of the board that took the decision that they are requesting that you appoint or second a CEO? Because day before yesterday, you were saying in this parliament, you are not appointing CEOs. It is not your authority, it is not your responsibility to appoint CEOs or any executive members. Council. And what you are reading now, it is the section that speaks to council. The section that speaks to CEOs, it's section 13 of the NFVF. And I agree, it says that the board, the council must in collaboration with the minister, request that. And the appointment should be approved by the board. So if you can provide us that email, that letter that requested that, and the minutes of the board that took that decision.
Chair, I did say in this council, in the minister, that I don't fire people. The board, the minister cannot fire. I don't fire people. The board, the minister cannot fire people. The board, the minister cannot fire. In the ministry to then say together with DSEC, and my management style is calling the it is very evident now when I ask the
Can I rise on a point of order?
Gabo,
No, but the minister is misleading us. I've been going through to this 6 subsection 2 of the National Film and Video Foundation Act of 1997. If I can read it for you, it is very far away. Position of the council, tenure of office and filling of vacancies. 6 subsection 1, the foundation shall act through a council consisting of no fewer than 9 and no more than 14 members. 6.2 subsection A, the members shall be appointed by the minister from a short list of no more than 22 names. It is my argument that this section refers to the appointment of the board or the council. My question, it is the appointment of the acting CEO who has been seconded. That's why I wanted to check with the minister, because the minister has quoted section 6 subsection 2B, and I'm referring to this subsection in terms of the appointment of the CEO. It is for that 2B, and I'm referring to this subsection in terms of the appointment of the CEO. It is for that.
I have made a ruling. I'll start from that corner down here. Now I see other hands. We're all aware that the minister has indicated he's excited to ask something. So let me do this. If you have now something that you really want to ask the minister before he leave, Honorable, 1 minute. Let's start from you, Honorable Makgato. Can you switch off your mic, Honorable Musa, the minister? Please switch off the mic.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. My question is going straight to the minister. The minister appointed 14 people to serve in the NFVOF Council. However, there are 13 names provided in slide 11 and 12. So I want the minister to explain the following questions to the committee. Who is the outstanding councillor? And then 2, what are the reasons for the chairperson's resignation? And lastly, as you say, I must not take long, outline to the committee the provision of the relevant act in section 6(7), which states that any vacancy on the council shall be filled in the manner in which the member who vacated the office was required to be appointed. So I wanted the minister to answer us before he go.
Honorable Musa.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. My question is, before Minister Gayton McKenzie leaves, is that why was the short list for council not made available for public comment and film industry scrutiny? It seems that the film industry has raised that the council lack film-specific insights and experience, and that's the concern.
Honorable,
the other questions I will question the chairperson.
Honorable Mataung.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Following the resignation of the CEO, rest assured that we, as the council, addressing the matter with you guys at the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture. So my question is, what impact do you think his resignation has done to the NFVF, number one? And secondly is, what's the way forward in making sure that the new CEO needs to take office? When? We just need a time frame.
Honorable Moletsani, before the minister leave, your last and final question.
Yes, thank you very much, Chair. Minister, I just want to check. It's same regarding the issue of the panel and the chair of the panel. You know, this industry, it's had so many people. I just want to check how many people are, in fact, on this. What guidelines was used to select the panel from the thousands of people, and majority of those who have applied, are they involved in this industry or not? And again, on the same board, how many board members who are involved in this industry, or is it people who are outside this industry? Thank you, Chair.
Minister.
Chair, I'm going to be very, very quick. There's a difference between, the act differs when it comes to appointing a CEO and an acting CEO. It's not the same act. When it comes to acting a CEO, I'm not involved in appointing the CEO. I'm not sitting on the panel. When it comes to acting CEO, the board writes to the minister in the department to ask us to co-opt someone. That's the first point. The second one, the act doesn't say it has to be 14. It says it must be no fewer than 9 and no more than 14, which means we can fall in the middle. And as I said, the issue of the CEO, why he left, I do not know. Honorable, the issue of what the industry said, I said to you that I did what the act requires me to do. And there's nothing that can be pointed out, nothing, that I didn't do what the act requires of me. And lastly, and I'm speaking fast because of time, I'm already half an hour late. Lastly, to Honorable Moletsani, the people that applied for the act, as I said, it's the same thing that I was explaining. The people that applied are people that's in the industry, they are youth, they are in marketing, they can add value to the council. You know, there's this fallacy where if you apply for a certain government department, that you have to have experience specifically on that matter. That works for CEOs sometimes. It doesn't work for boards and stuff like that. A board needs a variety of skill to be there. No disrespect, Chairperson. The other questions, I think the whole team is very equipped to answer the questions regarding the legislation and the whole process because they were part of the process. May I please be excused?
You don't want to take Honorable Mtetwa?
Oh, Honorable Mtetwa, what was your question quickly?
Because you don't have time, I want to put it to you that this is what you are doing as the minister. First and foremost is section 13, subsection 4. Go and read it. That's what talks to CEO, not the section that you've quoted. And that is statutory breach. Section 51 of Public Finance Management Act, breach of fiduciary duties, dissolving the NFVF board without, prematurely so. Executive ethics, clause 1.4.1, repeatedly appointed small politically associated members into boards. Chad is a member of PA. NAC is a member of PA. And you argued that the person must not be in the office And if I were to say to you, give us an empirical evidence that a person who's not in the office, meaning the top 6, and just an ordinary member appointed in a particular board will not serve the purpose. What you are actually doing, you are galvanizing the sector for your own political power. That's what you are doing. You are destabilizing these entities deliberately so that you remove the board in order to put the board that serves your purpose. And then immediately when the board comes in, you then the board destabilizes the HR. NAC currently has got a person who's been serving a suspension for 21 months. 21 months without any hearing. It's the same thing that is happening even at NFV in other boards. So I'm saying, Minister, I put it to you that what you have done, what you are doing, it is not honest. You are one person who quotes the Bible, and I want to tell you, you quote the Bible when I ask you a question. I've got a list of questions. Even the process, how it was hurriedly. First and foremost, when you have shortlisted names, you need to give the public to comment about those names in order to verify if those names do not have anything attached to them. That is why it is done through the Act. Let me allow you, because I can see that you are in a hurry to respond, but I put it to you, that's what you are actually doing.
You don't have questions, you just have insults. There's no act, or you quote me the act, Honorable Chair, Honorable Member. There's no act that says, I must show the public this shortlisted me. There's no act. Now you come here, you talk about my religion, you talk about my political party, you just have insults for me all the time.
Chairperson, can you call the point of order at the back, because the minister is busy responding.
So for me, you come here, I've answered every question here, every question. Now you come here, you insult me, you insult my religion, you insult the political party like there's no top 6 member. If you can mention the name. Honorable Chair, I have answered most of the questions and I'm willing to come back to answer furthermore.
Yeah, let me make the following ruling. Honorable Daniels, just a second for me. The members are eager to engage with the minister. There are reasons that the minister cannot stay longer. We will still have the deputy here. We will still have the department. We will still have NFVF here. So those questions, I would invite members to still pose that questions. And in terms of the dispute and rebuttal pertaining to whether the excess this or that or the other, I would invite members also to come up with those proof in terms of the facts of those particular acts as what the minister has mentioned. So I will allow the minister to leave. We will have the deputy minister here, we will have the department here, and we will have NFVF here. Honorable Daniels.
10 seconds, Chair.
No, Honorable Daniels, I've dealt with every member who want to ask questions to the minister. If I'm going to allow any member now, I've ended with Honorable Khabo. If I'm allow any member now, it will be a member that will have an input on what is presented to us and not a reaction on what has been said by both the minister as well as members of parliament. So I'm going to allow the minister to leave. We will, as the committee minister, give an opportunity to members those burning questions pertaining to appointments and disputes and allegations that has been made from either side, so that that can then also be proved wrongly, or it can be proved rightly by whoever party. So I'm going to allow the minister to leave, and I'm going to give an opportunity to Honorable Mataung. Honorable Mataung.